What's going on, guys? The Inside Blue Podcast, and we have another New York Football Giants mock draft, and it's a much different mock draft because they no longer have the number one pick. They beat the Indianapolis Colts, and now they have pick number 4, and a lot of Giants fans are pissed. Maybe no more Shedeur, maybe no more Cam Ward. Do they get a cornerback like Will Johnson? Do they trade back? I don't know. There is still a possibility that they could still get the number one pick, but I think currently their chances is like 5%. But if they lost the game against the Indianapolis Colts, would have been like 86 something percent. So the Giants pick number 4. We know if you guys have watched the recent mock drafts, they've done real well on the channel, but sometimes PFF could be a little wonky. But regardless, we know that with the loss to the Indianapolis Colts, the Giants pick number 4. Patriots now have the number 1 pick. In a real life scenario, they probably take Travis Hunter, but who knows who they take at pick number 1. 3 rounds. Let's do it. So this is kind of how it realistically how it should go. Travis Hunter goes number 1. Shedeur Sanders goes number 2. And then Cam Ward goes to Cleveland. And then if you're the New York Giants, where do you go from here, right? Obviously, we don't do any trade backs at all, so don't worry about that. But, man, this sucks, right? Because, you're not taking Jalen Milroe. You're not taking Jalen Milroe at the 4th pick. No way at all. So the guys that I look at that the Giants can draft here, I think there are some options. They could go Mason Graham. Him and Dexter Lawrence could be an elite duo. They could also go Will Johnson. I don't think they take an edge rusher despite the great talent with Abdul Carter. They could go offensive line with like a Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks Jr., but if I was making the pick on draft day, I gotta go. I'm gonna go with Will Johnson. They need cornerback help. I think it really comes down to either him or it comes down to Mason Graham. But yeah, I think that is a good first round. A good first round, in my opinion, with how PFF did that. So, just a little bit of a recap of the first round real quick. Travis Hunter goes number 1. Great pick for the New England Patriots. Do I think Drake May is going to not Drake May. Do I think the Patriots are going to make him a wide receiver? Or are they going to play cornerback? Cornerback is harder to play than wide receiver. And Drake May needs weapons, so I feel like I'd still play him at both positions, but I'd only have certain plays where Travis Hunter's in the wide receiver role. 2nd overall pick, it seems like the Tennessee Titans are done with Will Levis. They benched him. Shedeur Sanders comes in. Real solid talent. And then Cam Ward. The Browns restructured the contract of Deshaun Watson, so maybe that opens up a chance to take Cam Ward. They could go tackle, but I feel like if you have a potential franchise QB in there, you're going to go with Cam Ward. And as a Giants fan and a Giants content creator, stuff like that, Will Johnson's still a good pick. Will Johnson is still a good, valuable pick at pick 4. But you tanked for Cam Ward or Shedeur. And you don't get either of them in this particular draft. Now, maybe the Giants try and trade up in real life and try and snag Shedeur at 1 or Cam Ward at 1, and they do a massive trade with the New England Patriots. But the Giants need as much draft capital as they can. So I still like the value of Will Johnson at 4. Jags get another weapon. I guess with us taking Will Johnson, they take the best wide receiver off the board. Mason Graham goes to the Panthers. From the Panthers, I probably take Abdul Carter there. Jets go with Will Campbell, offensive line help. I'd go Abdul Carter there because he is such a good edge rusher. Abdul goes to the Raiders, so the Raiders miss out on all the quarterbacks as expected. They are in some needs of running back, but highly doubt Ashton Jeanty is going to go in the top 8. Ashton Jeanty ends up going to the Saints. Starks goes to the goes to Chicago. So some more linebacker help for San Fran. Kelvin Banks Jr. goes to the Colts. And with Ashton Jeanty going that high, Cowboys decide to just take Ohio State, Josh Simmons, and then here is the rest of the first round. Anybody else who really stands out? Tyler Warren, Penn State, had a great game yesterday. If you watched the game against Boise State, he goes to the New England Patriots. So tons of weapons are going to New England Patriots. Tyler Warren at tight end. Travis Hunter. It seems like it's going to be a really solid draft for the Patriots. But we're up. Giants are on the clock. And they can go with a lot of options here, right? They have a lot of options that they could go. Offensive line is probably their biggest need. But also interior. I mean, the John Runyon signing wasn't great for them. So, as of now, I wouldn't reach on any of these guys, really. So that's why I'm probably going to go defense again. And with TJ Sanders still on the board, we've taken him a lot. Haven't really looked at edge. Ole Miss. This guy had 11 sacks. Really solid numbers, actually. But then again, if you draft an edge, then what's the future of Kayvon Thibodeau? So, a bit of a weird spot. They're not going to go 2 cornerbacks in a row, so I guess just take best player on the board, and that's TJ Sanders, another defensive lineman. So, third round, we pretty much have to go offense because the Giants' offense is one of the worst in football. So, before we do that, let's just see. I just want to see something of who went where. So, like Jalen Milroe going to the Panthers is not going to happen. The Bengals get the edge rusher I was looking at. The Cowboys go with a running back. A lot of Ohio State guys going out in this draft. Jahad Campbell goes to the Jets. We get TJ Sanders. So, third round upcoming. 68th pick in the draft. I just want to see who's there at wide receiver. Not like they're going to take a wide receiver. So, yeah, I will say for the New York Giants later in the draft, I could see them actually taking Kyron Lacy. I could see later in the draft, like maybe like a fifth round pick, something like that. I could see them doing that actually to pair him up with Malik Neighbors. I think that could be a potential pick, but we're not taking wide receiver. I just wanted to throw that out there. So this team needs offensive line help, and that's what we're probably going to do. Just want to see which one is kind of the best on the board, in my opinion. You can never go wrong with guys from Boston College. You know, Boston College has some pretty good offensive linemen. But I feel like they need more interior because your left tackle. Your left tackle is Andrew Thomas, of course, and your right tackle is Jermaine Illuminor. So, I mean, they could go with a guy like Tate Ratledge. I know I've taken him in, I think both mock drafts, or at least one, so kind of want to switch it up. They could take a guard out of A&M, but it's the third round. probably be a massive reach. So I'm probably just gonna take the top one, which is not gonna take a guy from Purdue. Let's go with. Could just take the guy that I was looking at, the Ozzy Trapilo. Not Tate Rowledge. Clicked on the wrong one. We're gonna take Ozzy out of Boston College. So, say what you want about him. PFF grade, whatever. We're gonna draft him at this spot, and that's gonna pretty much do it for the draft. We'll see what we get in terms of grading, and we'll take a full look at the first round, and I'll give you my thoughts on that as well. We'll see what our grade is. It's a B plus. It is a B plus. So the only pick that was kind of a C plus was our final pick of Ozzy Trapilo. You could probably say it's a reach because of we picked him at 68 and he was ranked 83rd. But we got a B plus draft grade. Bottom 25% is unfortunately our draft. So I guess let's look at the first round, see what I like, see if there's any weird picks, and then we'll wrap up this this mock draft up. So, like I said, the first four I think is perfect. With how it went. As a Giants fan, it's not perfect because you don't get your quarterback of the future. You're not going to draft a Milroe in the second round or a Quinn Ewers or any of those guys. If Quinn Ewers does enter the draft or he goes to like Oregon in the transfer portal. So, Travis Hunter goes number 1. Great pick. Shedeur 2. Great pick. Cam Ward 3. The big move that I think is that Abdul Carter goes higher. I really think he could go as high as 6. And some interesting picks too. With the Steelers going running back in the first round, the Eagles going running back in the first round. I think the Eagles could go defense, or they could help out their offensive line if they want to. Ibuka, big name out of Ohio State, goes to Denver, so Bo Nix gets another weapon. I could also see them maybe going tight end there because, I mean, I don't think their tight end is something great. But that's totally fine. I mean, decent pick for them. 49ers get some more linebacker help to help out Fred Warner. The big name Ashton Jeanty pairs up with Alvin Kamara in the Saints organization. Overall, I like this mock draft a lot from the computer standpoint and taking Will Johnson in the first round. It was really between Will Johnson, Will Campbell, and Mason Graham. If I'm the New York Giants, you're still getting a good player at 4, which is what I'm trying to say for Giants fans. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean those are the 3 players that I'd like the Giants to pick at 4. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for another mock draft. Let me know your comments below. Of course, the Giants sell, and they have pick number 4, and they no longer have their quarterback. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.